What's going on, guys? It's Drew here and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. Whether it be through the YouTube comments or on Twitter, you guys are always asking us which of our many builds is the best to pick for a certain playstyle. And almost every time a question comes up, there are tons of unique builds we've made over the years that would fill the criteria. So, for that reason, we're going to make some lists of the best builds to play under a certain theme. This week, we're focusing on Conjuration. So if you're looking for a good Conjuration build to play and don't have the time to dig through hundreds of FudgeMuppet videos, you've come to the right place. All of these builds have a strong focus on Conjuration, but they all differ in their approaches to the School of Magic and how they implement it into their unique playstyle. So let's kick things off with the Bone Lord. The Bone Lord earned this nickname not for the reason you may think. No, the Bone Lord is named as such because he commands an army of undead servants, most of which fall under the skeletal theme. The Bone Lord rides a horse straight out of your worst nightmare. Arvak has burning eyes and no skin or hair, and the Bone Lord uses the Conjure Bone Man, Conjure Mist Man, and Conjure Wrath Man spells, which all provide him with the services of a skeleton crew with diverse skills and assets. To top that off, he can even summon a skeletal dragon with the Summon Durnavir shout. There's no doubt that the Bone Lord is one of our coolest conjurers, and you're not strictly limited to skeletons either. He also has access to spells like Dread Zombie and Dead Thrall in case you want some reanimated corpses instead. Once your conjured allies are set up and fighting, the Bone Lord focuses on two-handed combat, so this build is a good pick for players who want to mix mage and warrior skills. Our second Conjuration build is a more classic Necromancer, and he's called the Necromancer. Unlike the Bone Lord, this build uses all magic and exclusively reanimation spells. Using Dead Thrall and Dread Zombie, the Necromancer will always have conjured companions with him, assuming he's not in densely populated areas. The Necromancer combines necromancy with destruction magic and his vampire abilities. Also, as a vampire with the Necromage perks, all of these spells will be incredibly powerful and potent. So if you're looking to try out a really evil character and want to join up with the Volhikar vampires in the Dawnguard DLC, you can't go wrong with this guy. If you prefer werewolves to vampires, but also can't get enough of that conjuration magic, you should look no further than the Ethereal Hunter. This build is a hunter and focuses on archery and the loyalty of his conjured wolves. If you don't want to get too far into the malevolent practice of necromancy and want a conjurer who fits well into the forests of Skyrim, the Ethereal Hunter is a great pick. He uses a wolf familiar and a flaming familiar, and has access to a bound bow. All of these are much more useful when dual cast. Worshipping the Daedric Prince of the Hunt, Hircine, the Ethereal Hunter stalks his prey before overwhelming them with his translucent pets. Generally speaking, familiars will never be quite as strong as Reanimated Dead or Atronachs, so this build sets itself apart from the rest while still being totally viable. I'd say this build is the most challenging of our Conjuration specialists. Fourth on our list, we have the Puppet Master. This build is all about making the most entertaining and bloody spectacle he possibly can by bending the will of his enemies and setting them up against each other. This means he will use a lot of the Frenzy Illusion spell, but he will also be conjuring various companions to participate in the fight. In fact, the Puppet Master uses almost every form of conjuration. He'll be summoning Daedra, summoning bound swords and daggers, conjuring Atronachs and skeletons, and reanimating the undead. And all of the while he'll be using Frenzy to cause chaos, and the invisibility spell allowing him to decide how involved he wants to be in the fighting. Another thing that separates the Puppet Master from the rest is his role-playing, which aligns him perfectly with the Dark Brotherhood. So for you conjurers wanting to join these assassins, you've found the right build. If you can't decide which part of Conjuration you most want to play, the Puppet Master is probably the most complete conjurer on the list. Our final recommendation for all of you conjuring connoisseurs out there is the Witch. This build uses a combination of Reanimated Dead and ranged Atronachs. The Witch's specialty involves probing the minds of her victims. She carries the Skull of Corruption, Vermina's Daedric artifact, which is powered by stealing the dreams from sleeping victims. Combined with illusion spells like Frenzy and Pacify, she's another great pick for players who want to control the action from the sidelines, while also being able to step in when necessary. Reanimation spells like Dead Thrall and Dread Zombie are staples for the Witch, and Conjure Flame Atronach is her main Atronach spell. With the Staff of Corruption in one hand and the power to control the dead and the living thanks to Conjuration and Illusion in the other, this build is a great pick for delving into the darker side of Skyrim's magic system. And there you have it, guys. Subscribe to FudgeMuppet and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. We hope you found the Conjuration build most suited to you, and we hope this video served as a useful starter pack for anyone a little overwhelmed by the amount of builds we have to choose from. One thing's for sure, and that's that there is a build for everyone on FudgeMuppet, so if you want to see more build collections like this, let us know down below in the comments or on Twitter. You can find links to our Twitter accounts and all other social media in the description below. Also in the description will be links to all of the builds mentioned in the video, so if you found one you want to play, you can find it just below. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I've been Drew, and I look forward to nerding out with you again in the next one.